Alright, hello. So, I honestly did not plan this stream. I wanted to take a break, and I also had like something going on yesterday, which I'm not really in the mood to address. So, we're not, I'm not gonna give you that. But instead, give me a second to get rid of my Monaco. What was it? No, oh, here. There we go. Alright, so honestly, I did not plan to stream. I turned off Rumi for this reason. I'm actually working on something different for her, so don't mind that. But there's also not going to be much music. At least I don't think there is. I'm gonna make sure everything's good. All right, yeah, we're good. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get everything pulled up real quick, and then we'll actually start talking about it. I do want to emphasize that I I am a fan of Twisty, and seeing a lot of this kind of I was waiting basically because I've been following Twisty for a while since she debuted, and while I haven't been keeping up with her streams because I've been so busy with myself, but seeing all this, um, man, I don't know what else I could say, but we're gonna go. But it is all public now, so I do. So that means we do get to see it, and I will talk about it, of course, and give my thoughts on it a little more properly rather than just throw it out on Twitter and call it a day, right? So let's go ahead and fucking do that. Um, I don't have my Mac. I don't have a separate PC, so we're gonna have to make do with what we get. So let me open these up real quick. We're not gonna go through like much of the apology letter because it's already out there. Hold on, I gotta make sure it's big enough because I just opened a smaller size unnecessarily. All right. Anyways, so that's taken care of. Like I said, Rumi is turned off for this instance, so that's just another thing. All right. Everything's pulled up. So let's go ahead and look into this. Oh, Rumi, stay out of this, will you? Not your time. And I'm gonna get rid of this and this. We're not playing Sekiro anymore. Alright, so I'll make myself a little bigger for this. And let me select myself, readjust myself, and let's get. Alright, so around. So as we all know by now, a few days ago, someone has posted a leak, has posted a private conversation that between Twisty and Monozako and two other of her peers. Unfortunately, as of right now, the video is already removed. It's already taken out. I tried to ask for any kind of I tried to ask for any kind of archive, but I have not been successful in the archive. But so far, no one has been able to get the archive as we speak. Let me just double check that real quick beforehand. I like to make sure everything is. And I want to emphasize that I'm not trying to come at this with a very critical, with a very stern eye, and trying to give a punch in the stomach, and trying to get that punch in the stomach. That's not my goal. My goal is just simply to just see what she is trying to say. I've been a fan of Twisty. Like I said, I've been a fan of Twisty since her debut. I do follow her. I haven't been keeping up with her streams, but but I pretty much am aware of like the whole mess going on. um, let me go ahead. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and see if the archive is still up. I'm pretty sure someone has archived it. It is the internet, so there should be an archive somewhere. But I'm not showing my screen just for the sake because I don't want my screen not to be exposed while I'm collecting shit. So let's see here. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Here. This is it, right? It should not be up because the archive is missing because it is taken off. Hold on. Let me see if I can try to pinpoint it. What's the Nope, it looks like it's already gone off. It's already been removed. And yep, it seems like there's nothing else that can be done. The evidence is already the evidence is already removed because it violates YouTube. Because it already violates YouTube's policy. So we don't have any archive of it, but let me check the Wayback Machine. I might be able to get something. But if not, if the Wayback Machine can't get anything, we'll just work with what we have. Oops. That's not right. This is what I need. Alright, there we go. Save 2 times between. Oh, someone did archive it. They knew. Alright. We might have something here. Got you. Gotcha. This might get in. If the archive, if someone did save it, that'd be pretty much a miracle for me. I should have downloaded it ahead of time so I can see it for myself. So like it's taking a while. Let me run a refresh. June 13th. That's my. And just for the rec. Oh, we have something. Got you. We got an archive, boys. Let me just confirm it for myself, though. Okay. Nope, we do not have an archive. It's not been saved, and oh man, it was not saved. Unfortunately. Hold on. Ah, my phone. God damn. Okay, so there is an archive, but it seems there were 10 snapshots actually. This was saved 15 times. So this shit ain't leaving the internet. Oh my fucking god. But I don't think we can be able to. Hold on. There is another way. Let's see here. Can we find it? Is there an archive? No, there will not. Okay, yeah, we can't really do much without the archive. Okay, so we're just gonna have to take some more. Okay, so yeah, someone did not save the archive. That's kind of crazy though. But the archive was never saved. Interestingly. However, this is Twitter. Let's see what I can find. And then we'll get to the. Yep, we got nothing. Because the archive was never saved. Wait, what about latest? I haven't checked there. Nothing. Okay. So we got no. So we'll have to rely on some other people who did record the stream, who did record that moment. All right, that's fine then. Huh? Lurky. Oh, hey. Sorry, I was looking for like a certain. I was looking for like an archive that I need for this little moment. All right. Anyways, so let's get right into it, shall we? So no time wasting, none of that shit. All right, there we go. I don't want to show my desktop, so all right, there we go. Boom. All right. So as we all know, so as some of you don't know, or some of you or most of you know, or some of you don't know, Twisty Yamanazako recently had a bit. There was a leak. There was a leak that involved Twisty Yamanazako. The leak basically suggests that Twisty Yamanazako just basically said a lot of very hateful things. We'll keep it that simple. Of course, this actually was a coincidence. Of course, this happened to be a very big coincidence, as at the time, let me go. Let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. Here we go. Too big. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. All right. So, as we all know, is that Lulu has posted on June 11th saying that she saying that things are looking up for her. So, and conveniently, the leak came out and then this happened. And then what basically happened is that this basically put Twisty in a spot where now she's just basically in a really hard predicament. So of course she made an apology, and I'm not gonna go through it. You guys already know the apology. It's been a few days, so I will give you the benefit of the doubt that you have seen the apology. But basically TLDR, she's basically apologizing and saying that, hey, I understand what I said was hateful. What I said was insanely hateful, very disrespectful and inconsiderate, and it came from at a time where I believe words are just words and they don't hold anything, and that's true, and it is still true to a sense. Words are still going to be words, but they have power because you give them power, because you allowed it to. That's just my opinion. You allow a word to affect you, and that's what's going to hurt you. That's just simply my opinion. You can agree to disagree, but basically Lulu is saying, "Hey, I know what I said is wrong, and I want to be better. I'm sorry." And and of course and it's very crazy. And she's saying that it comes from from a place of protectiveness and frustration. I would imagine now people have seen the leak videos, and what I do remember from the leak videos is that she was playing League at the time, so I would assume so it's only just natural. So you could already assume something, but I'm not saying it's true, but you could maybe assume it. Now, of course, she wants to make it clear that she is growing as a person, and whether you believe that or not, it's completely up to you. For me, I understand that yes, she came from a very different scenario, and that yes, she did believe words are going to be words, and she doesn't hold to that belief anymore. Now that she changed, I understand that, and I completely get it. Now, and another thing is, she has said that don't she hate her fans. I've seen it. It was like at the end where she said that they were just you don't pander to you're just like a no income kids, and she's not entirely wrong given the company. And like I said, she's not wrong. She's not in a sense wrong at all. Some people just don't have money, and she said that why she doesn't stream a lot, she just spams collabs. Some of her fans were upset about it, and in my opinion, I kind of get it. Let's be real. If we're given the circumstances we know now, I completely understand that situation and where she stands. But and of course, she doesn't hate her fans, and this was basically at a time where she says that she called her fans like a bunch of no income kids, and like I said, she's not wrong. And it turned into like a generalization that she regrets, of course. And last but not least, she's saying that there is no perfect way to apologize. That is true. There is never a perfect way to apologize because let's be real. Because let's be ultimately real. You cannot please everyone. You cannot make everybody happy. You can only throw out what you can. You can only apologize for what you can, and only hope that people can take it or people won't. And you should not expect everyone to be like, "Oh, okay, well, you're all forgiven." No, it's the reality is that even if you put out an apology, people not everyone's going to forgive you. And she understands that, and I get it. And she understands that pretty well. But she can only do so much before she can only do so much. And it's really up to it's really up to the others on the internet to accept that apology, whether they want to or not, or if they forgive her, whether they want to or not. And I'm not saying you should forgive her. I'm simply saying you have that choice, but you don't need to, but you're not obligated to. That's completely fine. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead. So with that in mind, a lot people have been talking about it naturally, and it's been a let's say a big roller coaster. There's been a lot of people that said, "Hey, you should really just graduate and get off social media," and there are some that are like, "Hey, you should not bow down and kiss to the mob." Where do I stand? I don't care. That's it. She is fully allowed to say whatever the fuck she wants. And she's within her own reason to. If she doesn't like, she's within her own reason to. I may not, there may be things I don't like since she said she hates men. And I may not like that, but I don't care. But that's not going to affect me as a fan because I'm not going to let it affect me. I'm a better person and I'm not gonna let like some words be like, okay, this is very personal now. We're gonna have a fight over it. No, it's not that. I'm fine with that. I don't care. I don't care what she thought at the time. What she said before because that's what she said before. It's in her it's her thoughts at the time. It's mine. And but ultimately, I'd say come to your own conclusion. Like I said before on Twitter, come to your own conclusions on this because let's be real, you're not go- it's either you do forgive her or you don't, and you're not required to want to forgive her or not forgive her. You have that choice. Some people will not forgive her, and some people will. She's within her own reason. But I want to also say a few things that I think is a little that I think Lulu does know. And I'm not saying this for a certainty. I'm not saying this with a 100% certainty. I am saying it with some kind of idea. What I do think is that Lulu knows that with the leak video, it's very safe to assume that now people know. That now people know, and there were people in the comments saying that, and I think there was like one person that was involved in the leak video that was talking about it and saying that, and directly mentioning Lulu. I don't, I don't have any confirmation on that, but I do recall that if when I saw the leak video, I'm pretty sure it's on Twitter somewhere, but that's what I know. And one thing I did notice right away is that as of right now, with the apology letter, she basically confirmed herself as as the latter. And and at one point I was thinking, okay, so I'm gonna try to talk about this as two separate entities, Twisty and Lulu. But now it's confirmed both sides and it's pretty much now public because the leak video pretty much said it out loud and not only and in the and people do read the comments and I would only assume that people did read the comments at the time and saw that there was like one person in the video that directly mentioned Lulu. So so now it's even more apparent. Obviously she puts out the apology letter trying to hopefully bounce herself back. And I will, and she's a lot too. All right. She knows that, and I personally think she knows that she can't get everyone, that not everyone's going to side with her. Some people are going to defend her. Some people are going to go shit at her. It's a whole nightmare in itself. Now, one thing I also want to point out is that because because at the time I honestly assumed the leak was only allegations because for all we know, at the time when it came out, I didn't know anything about it because I don't want to assume like, hey, when was this posted? It's like, and is this like on a stream or something? But no, it was confirmed outright by a few. It was confirmed that this was one person in the comment did confirm that it was indeed a private conversation that was not supposed to be recorded. So that kind of throws so that already throws a wrench into so that's already one wrench in the problem. And one thing I do want to go ahead and touch on as and one thing I do want to touch on before we move on to the next thing. It's that people are always going to be. All right, sorry about that. My my OBS just crashed, but let's get. Did I lose the image? Apparently, I did. Now I can't fucking find it. It's fine. But let's go ahead and be like 100. Where was I? All right. Let's go ahead and be like 100% honest with each other. Content creators, anyone you know, anybody you know, like anyone you watch, all content creators, they're essentially putting a mask in front of you. They're essentially putting on a mask and basically looking and basically acting in front of you. That's the thing. Some people are passionate about content creation and they show, but there are others that will obviously put on a mask and completely play this whole and play a completely different persona from how they act from their IRL counterparts. That is very true. Unfortunately, yeah, it's all true, and it's the reality, and that's just the reality of things. Let's be real. You ver- all of us no, all of us talk shit. Let's be real here. Every one of us, including myself, including all the content creators you watch, all your Oshis, they all talk shit behind your back. Every single one of them. And this is not a generalization. This is just true. Because let's be honest. Because being completely honest, you know that. You kind of know that because all of us in general talk shit. We talk shit about each other all the time. This is nothing new. And for people that are just shocked, it's just like, what the hell? No, it's like it's a surprise. This should not be a surprise for you, if at all. People always talk shit about each other, and people always talk, and sometimes that's never going to be out in the public. That's always going to be like in a private conversation, like in a separate Discord or like in a Discord chat, or hell, even through SMS. That's just how it is. And if that's something that you just are not able to comprehend, I'm sorry to say that's just how it is. Because let's be real, the world is horrible. And there's always going to be a lot of people talking shit. There's always going to be somebody talking shit. There's always going to be somebody talking shit right behind your back. That's just the reality. And I may not like it. You may not like it. Some people may not like it. But you do it but guess what? You also do it as well. Because I do. Because think about it like this. You're you always you're always you as a person are always interacting with someone. It may be some random person on the internet that you don't like, whether you call them whether you call them like like transphobic, homophobic, sexist, racist, or just like plain asshole in nature. Guess what? You're talking shit about them. That's you're talking shit behind about them right in front of you're talking shit about them, and you know that because that's just how it is. It's unfortunate, yes, yes, it's so unfortunate that basically the quiet part is practically out loud is out there out loud. But unfortunately, that's just how it is. People will talk shit about each other, and that's going to be and that's just how it is. It's not pleasant, it's not good, but what can you do? But what can you do, really? All you can do is just simply keep going with yourself and know that, yeah, this kind of thing does happen. You willingly interact with that kind of thing. Is it is it fun, or is it like what did you expect? And it's only now that you're seeing a content creator talk shit behind you in a private conversation that at the end of the day, it's not your business. At, at the end of the day, it's not really your business to know or to even care, because you're really upset by that. I'm just gonna say it's on you. And in my opinion, you worrying about what someone's saying behind you is just, I think it's just not a big, I think it's kind of just a shock. It's not really a big deal. It's not like a big deal because guess what? Everyone talks shit about each other. You talk shit about someone, I talk shit about someone, and well, someone's gonna talk shit about someone. That's just the sad reality. And and content creators do it too. You never know because it's all behind the scenes. But perhaps you do know and you don't want to come to that reality. Well, that reality is there, and it could take you forever just to now know that. And that's just how it is, unfortunately. All right. That's enough of my yapping. Let's go ahead and we'll get to like the other meaty bits, which is like her truth and all this. So I'll go ahead. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna get the thing back up. Where is it? Dokuga. Did not save. It did not. Alright, sorry about that. I crashed again. I think my OBS is kind of fucked up. But let's get to like the meat and potatoes in this. So honestly, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on subtitles because it is a little hard to hear, but it's just how soft Lulu is. So we're gonna go ahead and skim through this. Oh, here we go.
Hello, everyone. It's been a while. I want a statement to try and, you know, get apologies for me.
It's true. I don't. I honestly believe that she did not try to get to. She did not put an apology out just to get sympathy points. She's not trying to be like, "Oh fuck, I got caught." That's not. I don't believe that because she changed. People change over the years, and I believe that.
I know that I want to be a better person going forward, and that's something that is not gonna change and will not change. I think
Honestly, it does take a while. I do believe you can change, but at the same time, you're gonna have a lot. It's an already uphill battle with like with like people standing against you, just holding their guard until the end of time. That's just the sad thing.
um, it's kind of hard to believe for a lot of people when I say that I'm not the person I was a few months ago, and that's okay. I don't think I'm totally 100% reformed, you know?
Nobody's going to be reformed. I'm just gonna be honest. It takes a long time, but it's just about you're not, but like I said, no, there's no such thing as perfection. No such thing.
I'm not perfect, but I do think that your life experiences can shape the person that you are, and
Agreed. Agreed.
I think a lot of people, and these are things that expanding my worldview, where it's it all.
Where were
But
we?
just in the past few months since meeting a lot of people and kind of expanding my worldview, I really do not think that way anymore. I kind of realize now that words do have meanings, you know, and implications and everything. It can really hurt.
I do know it can hurt, but it's also at the same time I believe that that people will allow it to hurt them, and I don't think that should. But but I can argue this statement as much as I want. But at the end of the day, people will have different opinion. People have different ideas on it, right? I think that you allow that people. I think that people will allow words to hurt them because they allow it. And people will believe, well, yes, words have a lot of power behind them, because guess what? It's going to hurt someone, and both can be true.
And these are things that I genuinely do regret, and I really intend to never repeat. And I'm truly, truly sorry if I've hurt you, and I hope that regardless of forgiveness, that you'll be able to heal from my words.
It's ultimately going to be down to the individual that was hurt by it. But in general, most of the audience that do watch Lulu or Twisty. But for me, it didn't hurt me. I don't really care. I'm still gonna be here. I'm still gonna stand by her.
That being said, I do want to clarify a few things that I've seen. First off, me deleting my posts had absolutely nothing to do with my statement. I was not aware of the video being leaked until I think a few hours after it had been posted to YouTube, and I had already kind of felt like I was on the path to become a kinder, more positive person, and
That's just it's so yeah. That's just seems like in my opinion, that's just like the biggest gut punch. That's like the biggest gut punch. You believe that you're becoming a better person, and then out comes someone that just leaks the video and gives you that very hard punch to the gut, and be like, "Ha! I got you." No, it's just so. I think it's just so much of a coincidence, and I called that a lot. And I called that actually. Let me go ahead and pull that up real quick before we go back into the meat and potatoes. Let's see. Hmm. It's been a while. All right, here. I found it. Took me a while, but I said here. What's wild to me is that this was uploaded as things started to look up for her, like an elaborate setup for either side of the coin. I'm not saying, like I said, at this point, I was not saying hey, I wasn't saying what a coincidence. I'm saying like this seems very this seems very elaborate. Like that video that was up, like the leaked video. I personally think that that was almost too. That was no coincidence. That was very much set up, and it seems like whoever. It seems like the person that leaked it. They basically knew. They knew, and they were and they were like, "No, you're going down for this." That's what I think, and I don't have any way to confirm that, and I'm not saying it's true. And I'm not going to say if it is true or if it's a fact. That's just what I think. Like I said, a lot of things of what I do say is just simply what my thoughts are. And obviously, I'm not going to get it right. I'm not going to get it wrong.
That was, I don't know, was the point. I was like, well, I feel like maybe my personal account should reflect that. Also, I've never, and I will never, post any sort of like anti LGBT or racist rhetoric. I'm not a political streamer. I don't intend to be.
Nobody, in my opinion, you should no. In my opinion, no VTuber should be a political streamer. That's just my. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just laying I'm just laying it right on the table right now. I'm just laying it right all on the fucking table right now. You see? Nobody should be no VTuber should be like a political streamer. I'm just calling it there.
I believe that these are changes that kind of need to be made in my personal life. And I just don't want my community to be one that's made out of hatred.
Understandably so. I would also say you should have like a very personal vent account, so that way you can go like that's like privated, locked away, and all that shit. So that's like okay, so here's where I can vent. If anything, nobody will know. It never goes public because it's locked away. And obviously, make sure you put it on like on a different name. That's just gonna keep you safe.
And also, maybe this is stupid to bring up, but I'm gonna say it regardless. Yes,
Go ahead.
I hate yaoi. I'm
It is so unnecessary, but hey, I don't mind it personally. But hey, I don't like yaoi either. I do like some yaoi, but it ain't gonna kill me.
personally not attracted to anime men, so it's kind of a two is worse than one situation for me. Any tweets regarding it were just in reference to me, like my friends talking about BL in the group chat and me just poking fun at them for it. And
It's kind of it's. I think the Twisty is like the it's like this one. It's like the one. It's like the one woman I know that don't like yaoi. Any other woman I met, like my friends, they do like yaoi. I Mayu. Oops. You were not supposed to see that. Don't worry. It was just like for another Don't worry. If you're wondering what was on my Discord, it was for Hyperbox. I didn't do. It's nothing like that bad. Don't worry about it. It scared the hell out of me though. Thank God it was only Hyperbox. Anyways, but like I said, I have a few friends that love a BL, like Mayu, Green, maybe Cat, and they are allowed to. I don't mind. I personally don't like it, but I do watch my share. But that doesn't mean I'm a big Fujoshi.
I guess moving on, I'm sorry if this is switching topics, but I also do want to speak about my experience. I mean,
This is where we
I'm sure
get. This
lots
is
of
the
you
meat and bones.
aren't really surprised to see a stream like this for me. I thought kind of a lot about if
I'm pretty sure you thought very much a lot about it. Because kind of saying that you don't have a lot of it's just simply nitpicking. It's just like saying kind of is like you didn't think too much on it. I would have said I thought about it. It's just to give a lot more certainty. That's just my opinion, though. And you don't have to take it for granted.
This was something I even wanted to get into, but I know there are a lot of rumors and speculation going around, so I do want to speak about my experience,
Yes,
at my job and with certain people.
yes, yes.
And I guess, I want to put it out there that this isn't really something that I wanted to be sensationalized. I feel like it's a really
Obviously,
personal and emotional matter to me, and I never intended for things to end up this way, and I do feel sorry that they have.
it's just I understand. Honestly, I was a Niji fan a long. I was a Niji fan a long time ago. I was there for the golden age, like from Lazuli to Exaleo. I was there. What I've seen I've seen everyone's debuts. I've seen some of the clips. I've seen a lot of it. I was there, and I was one of the I was one that stood behind Niji En. I get it, and I understand. I completely understand how that it did not want to happen this way, but I get it.
I guess I'll start with the job part.
Let's do it.
So
At this point, at this point, people do know, but obviously she can't say it because of obviously she can't say it because of legal reasons. Let's just be real. But other than that, we all know. Most of us should know.
you know, something that was kind of once presented as a dream opportunity, well, it very quickly just turned into a lot of stress and disappointment and disillusionment. And over the past year, I I just I received very little of the support I was promised.
That's just it backs up. If I remember correctly, it very much backs up. Um, I think it backs up Zion's statement saying that she gets very little support. That I think. Don't take my words for it.
I'm sorry if this is all gonna come out as blunt, but this is just my personal experience.
It's okay if it comes out as blunt. It's just how you have to view it.
I'm working, and I know other people have very varied ones. So this isn't meant to be like, oh, well, this person is lying. Because some people, I do believe, have had positive experiences, but this is just mine.
And she's right. She's right. I'm not gonna deny that. I'm not gonna deny that there were people in Niji that pretty much had a really good experience. Some have said they practically paid their bills. They are now financially stable. I fully understand that you were given those promises because well, someone before you had that was able to make it. But yeah, here you are that you don't get the support, and I fully get it.
So the entire environment was just, it was filled with constant, ongoing delays, and a lot of the communication was very unclear and lacking. And I feel that overall, it was just a very toxic and uncomfortable work culture. When I joined, we were asked to delete all personal and professional social media accounts and to step away from any existing jobs, IRL or otherwise.
I know I tweeted about this. Some of you may have seen it, some of you may not. But oh my god. Oh my fucking god. What I feared was fucking right. I was going to make okay, a little side story. I was going to make a tweet to say I was going to reply saying what's like if Twisty is not getting money, if viewers if her audience is not giving her money, then why should she bother streaming? Because she's not gonna make any income out of it, and whatever she does make, well, YouTube and Niji are already taking a good cut of it. So she's already getting like bottom of the barrel money, and that just confirms to many that holy shit, she's basically just living on. She's basically working for free, and she's just basically picking up the dust. She's only picking up like a very few amount of She's basically picking up pixie dust at this point. Oh man, Niji never ceased to amuse me. Sometimes.
To commit fully to this new opportunity, and in return, I I received what I feel like was minimal support and visibility and promotion to be able to sustain myself throughout the new transition. And because of a lot of unforeseen.
Hold on. All right, sorry about that. I had to take it. I had to receive the sudden phone call. I'm so sorry.
Delays that followed shortly after onboarding. I went nearly 8 months without steady income.
8 months without steady income. That's mad. That's maddening. So Niji just tells her, "Hey, if you want this job, you need to drop everything. Delete every last thing around you. Delete your personal life. Delete your personal accounts. Quit any job you're working. You can't have a second job, and you can't be making money on the side. Only this job. You must commit to it." And and even when she committed to it, which she did, that's why she's here. She's been 8 months without any kind of steady income. So she's basically chewing through oh no, she's chewing through. So she chewed through money. So she basically either had no money or she chewed through whatever she had left. That's, oh my gosh.
The majority of my first paycheck was used to cover required work related expenses.
So this is just like, I would assume, like the model, the models, the background, and probably any other stuff that came out of her pocket.
In July 2024, I raised concerns about inappropriate behavior and misconduct within the company.
So this means that that she brought up the allegations in July last year. So this was already a problem beforehand.
I will try and clarify a little later what I mean by that.
Go ahead.
The individual in question had a known history of manipulation and targeting new hires.
Targeting new hires? You're telling me that the person that we think, that we believe, that we already know right now, is basically targeting new hires like, hey. Oh, that's so gross.
Especially women. Despite this, I was told that no action would be taken due to fear of retaliation.
Due to fear of retaliation? What? What the fuck do you mean by that? Is you just wussing out or something? Is the staff just wussing out, just like, hey, I know what's going on. I understand what's going on, but listen, we can't do anything about that. I'm sorry. Is that really? If that's true, that's uh-uh.
These issues were not new. They'd even been brought up long before I joined, but
So this has been going on for quite a while then. Far more. So apparently Scarlett's words has some evidence, has some backing behind it.
no meaningful steps were ever taken to address them.
I mean, I mean that's kind of, I mean, no one's shocked. I mean, are we all shocked at this point? But that's just that's a really shitty thing to say, honestly. It's a really shitty thing to say, honestly. I'll admit that. Just like no me, like yeah, there were no meaningful steps to ever address them because they don't want to do anything about it. I don't know if I don't know if staff is just like paranoid or they just don't want another like backlash on their hands. Just like they don't want the internet on them. Just like what? What?
I feel like the toll this took on me was severe. My mental health wasn't really in a good place to begin with, and it deteriorated to the point where I could no longer function as I once had.
I'm not gonna put input anything on this. All I can just say is there has been 4 scenarios where mental health became a problem in Nietzsche. Zion, Homu, Nina, and now Twisty, and also Mista while we're at it. And Michi, whoever I forgot. Man, I forgot that it was that one. I forgot her name. I know she now goes by Michi. I know that the talent goes by Michi.
I had to withdraw from multiple voice acting opportunities because I couldn't even get myself to record.
I know it says blue selecting, but it's actually voice acting opportunities. So she had opportunities to voice act, but she just was like, I'm not in a good place right now. And I get it.
Anything without just breaking down and crying. And I remember one time time sitting in front of my desk doing a waiting room for like 10 minutes, and I was just sitting there trying to calm myself down and, be able to entertain my fans, but I ended up just ending the stream before it even began because I had broken down in tears, and I really just could not get myself to stop crying.
Jesus Christ. The more this just comes out, the more upsetting it is.
It felt like the entire time no one believed me and that I had to stay quiet despite what I was going through. I was told not to speak about this with anyone, not with my coworkers, no one, just to never speak of it.
Why would they do that? That's such a dumb move. That is the dumbest move they can do. You don't say that. You don't tell them. You don't tell your coworkers that is being harassed. Like, listen. Just stay quiet about this. Do not talk to anyone about this. This is not. No, do not worry about it. Just keep going. And yet you're not. We're not gonna take any actions, but we do ask you to stay quiet. We just don't. Like, why would you do that? Are you like, why the fuck would you do that? Is it because like you're so fucking afraid? Is it because like you're fucking afraid of another backlash? Fucking own up, but Niji. Jesus fuck.
Or mention it again. I felt like I just couldn't risk showing what was really going on to the world, and because of that, I made a lot of mistakes. Together with some of my coworkers, I pleaded for the situation to be taken seriously.
So she had some of her peers help her. I wonder if that was like enough. And I wonder if that's the rest of her peer. I wonder if that's like her wave mates or gen mates that helped her, and along with a few others that were involved that were victims of it, of him.
We emphasized that without proper intervention, the consequences would fall on everyone. But still, nothing had changed. In November 2024, staff remained.
So she's saying that she and a few others, we don't know who, but we're not going to make assumptions. But people can rightfully make their assumptions, or can make their assumptions not rightfully, obviously. But I am not good with words. But like, obviously, Twisty wanted this to be taken seriously. Like, dog, this is a big problem. You need to fucking talk about. You need to fucking do something, please. And yet they didn't. Fuck all. Ah, that's
Made aware that private conversations had been leaked online. We urged them to respond or prepare for the fallout of everything.
Twisty knew. This girl just fucking knew. She was like, yes, it leaked online. Get your butt, do something, or get your butt, do something, or the backlash is going to be worse. She had to take it upon herself. It's crazy.
Nearly a month passed, with no communication nor action, until the video was published, and public backlash forced the situation kind of out into the open.
A private situation that ultimately has gone public, not because they wanted to go public, but they had to make it go public to make Niji respond. I fully get it.
I was then instructed to take a break from my work following an announcement of an investigation. Despite this, I never once felt that my concerns were ever meaningfully addressed. Most conversations focused not on resolving the matter, but on managing my exit. I remember the first call we had.
So they just, so they were like, oh, we'll just make, wait, I want to see this again.
I never once felt that my concerns were ever a month past, with no communication nor action, until the video was published and public backlash forced the situation kind of out into the open. I was then instructed to take a break from my work following an announcement of an investigation. Despite this, I never once felt that my concerns were ever meaningfully addressed. Most conversations focused not on resolving the matter, but on managing my exit.
Are you fucking serial? Wait, are you serial? So you're saying, so Niji just basically said outright, we, let's, so Nietzsche just basically implied, listen, we're not going to do any, we're going to open an investigation, but we're not going to resolve, but how about we can resolve on managing your exit somehow, right?
I remember the first call we had. For, I would say, 80% of it, I was explaining VTuber culture and
Which you would imagine that a company like Niji would know a thing or two, maybe a lot more about VTuber culture in general.
kind of what VTubers were. And for the other 20%, I explained my experience with this person. And, you know, I felt like I didn't have very much time to really delve into everything, and I was told that they would follow up and we'd speak more, and that never happened.
They just ghosted her ass. That's fucking sad. That's fucking disrespectful and sad.
Um, any following conversations pretty much happened because after pushing and pushing for a response on anything, I eventually kind of broke down and said, I want to quit. I went out, and immediately they kind of got back to me, and everything following that was details surrounding my leave and my exit. But to this day, I'm not confident any real investigation ever took place.
Oh my god, it's just a fucking. So this whole time, it's what people actually fucking feared. It's what the internet. It's what many people who used to be Niji fans actually fucking feared. It's like, oh, why is this investigation taking so long? Are they actually doing it, or are they just prolonging it? And oh my god, it's exactly as people were afraid of. They never bothered. They were just like, oh, we'll do an investigation. Just does no investigation. That's, oh my god. There's so, that is so, oh my god, so bad. So fucking bad.
I know that they were very clear in not admitting fault in any way.
Not admitting fault in any way. Oh, we did not do anything wrong. Oh my gosh.
And I want to be honest. You know, at one point, there were talks of a settlement, and I personally do not believe that if they truly did nothing wrong, that that would have been something that they even considered. But ultimately, it's something that I had decided against. And I want to make it clear that I do have documentation to support my claims, including acknowledgments from the person involved, and I'll talk a bit more about that later.
Oh my gosh, she has evidence. well, I knew well, when I saw this person, she did, I was like, holy shit, she has evidence. What the fuck? Thank God she does, though. This would have been a lot, thousand more, this would have been more allegations, but there's like, but now, but her truth actually connects the dots to Selene and to Zion.
Their behavior has been reported to staff so many times over the years, and it has been well documented and recognized as an issue. On top of this,
I would imagine she wrote all of this ahead of time.
another coworker had leaked my outfit just 10 minutes after I had privately shared it. Not only did they expose something that I was really excited to be able to reveal to my fans and community, but they also added a lot of very mean and what I believe were manipulative comments to stir up drama and attempt to implicate me. What I feel like should have been a really happy moment was just completely ruined.
You do know, I do want to go ahead and say that this moment, right? This moment, the moment Lulu is talking about, this basically backs up, Selene's, this backs up Selene's statement. And this backs up Doki Bird's statement saying that there was, this backed up the, this backed up that termination letter on Selene saying that there was accusations of internal bullying inside Niji. So, and having hearing witness account from Lulu, that already, that now has actual proof that yes, there is actually internal bullying inside Niji. Oh, that's the last thing they need. Oh, they're going to hell.
I am gonna try and shed some light onto the other situation now, and I'm gonna be honest, this is gonna be kind of a very difficult conversation for me, and I'm sorry that if I cannot convey myself properly.
Yeah, no, it's understandable because it's hard to convey something like this, especially when it's like a situation that you have to directly talk about and that needs to come out.
There are a lot of things that have happened, so I apologize that this is not as conclusive as it should be, or if things are out of place in terms of time or missing proper context.
Well, there's already people that can fill in the holes because it was already mentioned prior.
So, when I first met this person, they were very friendly, and
Of
we had
course.
bonded over games. They kept
Let me guess, League. I'm sorry.
pushing me to play games, and although I really didn't want to, I eventually agreed because I just wanted to have a good relationship with all of my coworkers. Um, over time, there be
Which is completely understandable. I understand. You want to have a good relationship with your coworkers? I completely understand. I fully understand. You don't want to be like that really socially awkward, like, oh man, this person's like weird kind of shit. I understand. I was like that too. Like a few, like in one of my prior jobs.
behavior really started to shift. Um, I feel like once they felt more comfortable, they began calling me more often, making extremely flirty comments about my my appearance, um, and my voice, and they would often ask me to say specific things or quotes or phrases for them, so that
Okay, so where we are right now is on the Aster situation. Basically, we all know. Basically, if what the chat that was leaked, she's basically what's happening. What I think is happening right now is that she's confirming it all outright.
They could hear it in my voice. They would bring up my ASMR in a way that made me feel extremely, extremely uncomfortable.
Let me just say that I really like Lulu's ASMR. I really like Lulu's ASMR, but oh my god, but but this person, which we all know who it is, like showed Lulu her ASMR in a way that made her feel really uncomfortable. Oh my fucking god, that's so gross. There's a line to draw.
They would want to call with me more and more. We're acting overly familiar and constantly just putting me down,
What the fuck?
calling me weird, asking if I was mentally disabled or
What do you mean I'm fucking mentally disabled? What do you mean? Why would you ask? Who the fuck asked that? Ah, that's so gross and it's so uncomfortable. Man, if I was in her shoes, I completely understand. I would have been like, what? What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my fucking god. And I would have just like be very pushy about it. Be like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
had Tourette's and claiming that others at work were uncomfortable around me.
Others at work were uncomfortable around her. That is a very bold mouth. That is a very bold thing to say.
This really hurt at the time, but I later found out from another coworker that this wasn't true and that manipulation and bullying were just were just a pattern of his.
Yep. Even more proof.
I remember one time we were in call and they just kept repeating like, why can't you be normal? Why can't you just be normal? And I don't know.
Oh my god. Don't. Oh my god. Oh my god. I felt that gut punch so hard. It was like it was like a very hard gut punch for me. It was like it felt like that. It was
As someone who's never really fit in, I feel like it just kind of hit very hard.
it hit too hard. I rest assured I know what you feel.
But
Mhm.
during one of these calls, they brought up the idea of meeting up in Japan, and I've always
Yep,
been
this is what
a
we found in the
fashion, but
conversation.
I also struggle with severe agoraphobia. Even something as simple as going to the grocery store can end in a panic attack for me, which
Agoraphobia. I did not catch that, but now that I did, I wanna look that up real quick. Um, here, agoraphobia. Anxiety disorder characterized by fears of situation where escape might be difficult or help unavailable, leading to an avoidance of public space. God damn. Usually begins with a stressful event, for example, losing a job or a relationship ends. They feel the stress and limit their contact with basically known as avoidance behavior. Holy shit.
is something that I had already mentioned before. When they suggested meeting up, I kind of explained again that I wouldn't feel comfortable, and I even said that if I were in Japan, I probably wouldn't leave my hotel room.
Honestly, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either. I kind of am a little. I will admit it. I don't like going outside. I don't like going outside mainly because I don't really like dealing with people in general. So I can't. So that's my excuse. It's not the same as Lulu's, obviously.
Their response made me kind of uneasy. Instead of respecting the boundary that I had set, they kept pushing, saying that I didn't really seem like that type of person to him. He would
You don't seem like that. He said that you don't seem like that type of person to him. Is he just like he's very desperate? He's almost so desperate to get in.
continue with things like, what if we were in Japan together? To which I stated, like, regardless of who was with me, I would still feel extremely uncomfortable.
Understandable too.
They then said, what if I was in Japan with you and I held your hand? And
No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
I told him, like, that wouldn't change how I felt, and they followed up with, what if I hugged you? I repeated that I still wouldn't feel comfortable then, and what I interpreted to be a very, very flirty tone, they had said,
Yes.
what if
Understandably
we
so.
stay in my hotel room together all day?
No, no, no. That's worse. That's worse. That's fucking worse. Nope. No, no, no. That's very worse. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. That is so much worse. You all know why. I don't have to explain it.
Sometime after this, I was invited to Japan under the pretense that they had not many people for their event and they really, really needed me. I later found out that this was completely false.
I knew. That's why I was like, when she first brought that up, and before she said, I later found out this was completely false. I was like thinking, do you really need someone though? There's like 1,000 people in the fucking branch. There's like a bunch of people in the branch. You'll be fine.
They had more than enough people for the event, and I feel like they were just trying to guilt trip me to try to get me to show up. And thinking about it, I don't think I'm a very smart person. I felt uncomfortable, but I wanted to think the best, and if I was financially able, I probably would have went because I want to be a good coworker. I want to.
I understand, but at the same, and I understand that number one, you're not smart, and I understand you want to be a good coworker, but at the same time, I guess you could say that not being financially stable me kind of got you lucky. Uh, I don't know. That's the thing. I just don't fucking know.
Be a good friend, and thinking about like what could have happened. It's it's honestly something I don't really want to think about,
And I get it.
but I do a lot. And to continue, I'm gonna try and not share many details here.
That's fair.
Try and protect the identity of the other people who were involved, but the
Which is understandable. Which is completely understandable.
same exact behavior, the same offer to fly other people out to Japan if it meant that they would stay in the same hotel room with them also happened. At another point, and with another person, they got extremely aggressive with this person for not wanting to meet up with them on a trip.
I think some people could figure out who Twisty is talking about.
I feel like this behavior to me was extremely uncomfortable and inappropriate, especially given that we were coworkers and we had around a 10-year age gap between us.
10-year age gap. What the fuck? Oh, that's even more gross.
I think what maybe seemed like harmless flirting to them felt very invasive and manipulative to me.
Which it is. You're not wrong. It very much is from the sound of it.
The way that they would just completely ignore my boundaries and try to kind of blur the line between professional relationships and personal ones made me feel very pressured and just ultimately unsafe.
Which, again, it's understandable. Like, she had her boundaries broken. It's obvious that she does not want anything, and obviously, we know who the person is. We know that, and obviously, people already pointed out that it's Aster. And oh my gosh, like, respect one's boundaries. Like, obviously, you know that. I'm not the person that can say it because I have my boundaries broken before, but I can say it but I want to say it for others because obviously you don't want others to live almost a similar situation as you might have.
I'm gonna share a clip of a conversation that we had, where I basically, after finding out about what my friends had went through, I basically had confronted them about it. I feel like it's kind of weird when you offer to fly girls out. Just in general.
Which is true.
I'm getting a call.
In general.
Might be famous.
The one voice? That's fucking Aster.
I don't know, but don't you think
But it was like a half
that's-
joke.
I mean, you can't really.
It was like a half joke. That's not even a half joke. Even a half joke has a punchline, and nobody's waiting at the punchline.
Half joke saying, I'm gonna fly you to Japan. Come stay at my hotel. That's not really a joke.
No, it isn't.
Like, I feel like there are some things you should and should not say to someone who is like, because, like, she is a really big fan of Neji Sanji. You're on your Liver account. I feel like it's very awkward for her when you're saying, like, even if it's a joke, which I don't think it is. I don't think.
No,
like,
it isn't.
You say my joke's like unhinged or whatever, but you don't just say, I'm gonna fly you out and you can stay in my hotel room.
What's the punchline? That's the thing. I'm going to fly you out and you can stay in my hotel room. What's the punchline? What the fuck is the punchline? It's just like, oh, I'm just jokingly gonna fly you out. I'm not actually gonna take you there. There's no fucking punchline!
After we had this specific conversation, we continued to go back and forth on it for a bit. At one
Obviously.
point, they had said something to the effect of, well, your friend is just so nice, and I really couldn't help myself, you know? And I just felt like that kind of hit home for me. I don't think that someone being nice to you is an excuse to push their boundaries.
And Lulu is correct.
And I don't want to say this lightly, because I do believe that my friend had it much worse than I did, but I don't think being nice is an excuse to sexually harass someone.
And that is also true. Just because you're nice to someone doesn't mean that you can be so forward with them. It's so uncomfortable. If someone did that was nice to me and they gotten so forward to me, I would have been like, back it up.
I think another thing many people have asked why I post publicly so often, and honestly, it's because it was the only way I ever received any form of response from my job. Every private attempt at communication was met with silence or redirection. I remember at one point, recently actually, they were upset because I had stated I want to stream and said, "Why didn't you just ask?"
Why didn't you ask? You forced her on a fucking break. The fuck?
By me and others pleading for months upon months for my return, and the only reason any of this even became public was because a friend chose to expose it, because I can't really put it any other way. I was stupid. I had trusted them. I truly considered them a friend, but it came to a point in our relationship where I felt like I had to set boundaries in response to their very abusive behavior, and they weren't happy with that, and they kind of stated that this was a way to get back at me. Looking back, I feel like I realized how naive I was to think that I could just handle it all on my own, but at the time, it felt like I had no one to turn to. My coworkers were already overwhelmed and dealing with plenty of issues, and I didn't want to bring my own issues into the mix and kind of just add more stress. So
I fully understand. I almost lived that very thing where I almost had nobody to turn to. I remember like years ago. I still don't have a lot of people I could turn to, but I'm only just handling what I can on my own with my own situation. I fully get it.
I guess that was very stupid of me. I'm not perfect. I've made so many mistakes.
And obviously, you're going to keep making a lot more mistakes. That you're not going to be perfect, and all of us are going to make mistakes, whether we know it or not. That's just. But all you can do is that you just gotta pick yourself up and just keep going, and just keep going. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Yeah, people are going to hold you. It's going to hold you close to the fire, and it's going to cling you to your past. But what else can you do? You can't let the past. You can't dwell on the past, and you can't let people dwell on the past. Eventually, we all gotta move. We all gotta pick ourselves up and move on.
But I truly don't think I've ever acted out of malice to hurt someone else. And it does hurt to be painted as something I'm not. I only ever wanted to just do my work and take care of my fans and find a place where I could belong wholeheartedly without any fear or shame.
I do get it because that's probably what Lulu was hoping, with the given opportunity that was ultimately never promised. So it became already a big gut punch right after the other.
this moment, I guess, and I want to just sincerely apologize to my past, current, and future fans for the things that were said. I've mentioned it on stream many times, but I just want to say it again clearly. I truly, truly do not care about money or expect anything from you. What I had said came from a moment of frustration during a very difficult time in my life. The financial stress and feeling unsafe in my work environment.
The thing is, I understand because she's in that work environment where where she was forced to delete everything and was forced to be devoted to that one job, having to give up anything and can't do anything otherwise. Yeah, I fully understand.
And just being constantly disrespected by outsiders in my own space just it made things worse. I was angry at everyone and angry at myself for not being able to do things for you. I wanted to be able to have fun events and do song covers and fun things for you guys, and being unable to just hurt.
There, Twisty, Lulu. I know this video is probably not gonna reach you, but if it somehow does, and you made it this far, I want to say this because I think coming from, I don't know what I can say, but it's like coming from a semi-similar situation, not an entirely similar, but just partially similar. But I want to say that there's always time to make do on the promises that you did keep. There's always going to be time, and if you could not make it then, maybe later. Maybe later when you're in a better situation, when the situation has gotten better, that you can then make do on those promises. I truly believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I do believe that there is an opportunity to fulfill those former promises that you did make prior. It's just a matter of how you will reapproach it and how you will reapproach it with your new circumstance. With the new circumstances when things do try to get better.
I don't want it to come off as an excuse. None of it justifies what I said, and I take full responsibility for my words. And I really am sorry if I've hurt you in any way. I also just want to clarify, the person mentioned in the video was not a fan of mine, but someone who had been stalking and harassing me and others for years, even after I had removed him from my community. He would continuously harass young women and Asian creators I'm trying to think of a not weird way to word it, but I guess just to fulfill his own fantasies. That's the
So
reason.
basically whatever kind of creepy shit he was thinking.
Excuse the way that I spoke, or the people that I hurt in the process. I let my anger and just not thinking get the best of me, and during that moment, I betrayed the trust and kindness of the people who genuinely supported me, and I'm truly sorry. To those who believed in me, who waited for me, I'm so sorry. I know I let you down. I made a lot of promises that I couldn't keep. And that failure is just something I don't think I can ever forget. You deserve so much better than me. I really did want to give you my all to be the best I could for you, but in the end, I couldn't. And for that, from the bottom of my heart, I am so sorry. You really mean everything to me. I don't think I'd even be here today if it wasn't for you. But I think that covers everything I wanted to talk about. I'm sorry if this wasn't what you wanted to hear. But this is what I felt like needed to be said.
I think what we can probably come out with this is that what people feared from the company, from Niji, and what people feared and knew from the leaks, it was all true. And not only was it all true, it was worse than we could imagine. And another thing I think we could take away is that be careful with who you get involved with. Friends, relationships, whatever. Be careful with who you talk to on the internet. Be careful with who you associate as a VTuber, as a content creator, as a VTuber, or just really anyone, or really any outside of that, just as a person in general. Just try your best to be mindful of who you're talking with, because and who you're friends with, who you associate yourself with, because at any point someone can just stab you in the back and will lead to this very situation. And Twisty, Lulu, I think ultimately she says she makes a lot of bad mistakes and she's not wrong. But she's just gotta lift herself up and just move on and keep going. Because I don't think there's a point in trying to dwell on this anymore. And I think all that is left from here is just waiting to see what will happen next. If anything, I think this will be the final straw. I think this is where Niji is going to officially cut Twisty out, terminate her, and try to paint her in a very bad light. That's just what I think. And we know how far the rabbit hole has been, but I doubt anything would be done. If anything, maybe Aster would be spared. It would be nice if he got terminated, but at the same time, I kind of have my doubts because they don't want to get rid of him, I feel. But I'm gonna go ahead and end stream here. This is probably gonna be the only stream I have. I have other things to take care of, and I still have my 2 jobs that I need to attend to, of course. Until then, I'll see you all whenever I stream again. Bye.